guys, welcome to another studio vlog. Today I am working on getting my shop switched over to Squarespace from Shopify. This wasn't really something I was planning on doing until I started kind of running into some issues, not necessarily like shop related issues with Shopify, but I wanted to be able to add a page that has like pictures and text and just like customize a little bit more. And in order to do that, I was gonna have to purchase like a $40 a month app. So it was just silly. And so I was like, you know what, I'll just play. I'll play with Squarespace because I have that for my portfolio. We'll see how I like it. And I think it's coming along. So I wanted to show you guys. I'm kind of like brainstorming some ideas about it, but it's the last day of my free trial. So anyway, yeah, I feel kind of like I want to get it done today if I can, but that seems a little bit crazy. I'm also evaluating some of the things that are in my shop and whether I want to bring them over to the Squarespace one or not. So yeah, and part of this is that I'm going through inventory I have of certain prints. They got a little bit disorganized and I wasn't totally positive and my inventory numbers in my system were right. So I want to make sure that I'm starting this like the best way that I can. So yeah, let me show you guys so far. Hi guys, I am popping in as I edit this because well, for one thing, the footage I recorded of what I was working on Squarespace didn't save the audio of what me explaining it. So that's one reason, but also I spent like 2 weeks working on this Squarespace shop, making it everything I wanted it to be. And when you look at their plans, it says that you can do shipping labels, or it says shipping. It says that you can, you know, have a shop. So in my mind, that automatically means you can print your own shipping labels, because everything I've ever done, Etsy and Shopify, both allow you to print shipping labels for orders. And it also said that there was no, you know, like they don't take a percentage of your sales if you're at like the top level thing. So Shopify is $29 a month, and the Squarespace option I was gonna go with was $40 a month, but I did the math, and because Shopify takes 3%, it actually ended up being cheaper to do Squarespace. But then in the plans, it says that you can do credit card payments, PayPal, and Stripe or something like that. And what I didn't know until after I had set this whole thing up was that if you want to have credit card payments, you have to link it to Square. And so it's not really like Squarespace doing it, it's Square doing it. And I do have an account with Square, but Square takes 3% of credit card sales. So it kind of negates the fact that the top tier of Squarespace doesn't take 3%. It's just I might be a little bit confused about it, but basically what it came down to was I was gonna have to install an app for credit card sales and an app for shipping labels. And those are like very primary functions of the shop, more so than the issue I had with Shopify, which was not being able to make like a customized kind of page. And also the image quality on Shopify is not as good as Squarespace, though none of my customers have complained. I just see it because I can compare the two. But what I did find out was that I ended up writing Shopify again and asking again if there was a way to make a customized page. And this person that I spoke with actually gave me the link to an app that was completely free to link to my Shopify store to make some customized pages. Not only are the pages customized, but the images on those pages are higher quality than what Shopify typically puts out. So anyway, I chose one app for a less necessary function on Shopify versus like 2 or 3 apps to make the Squarespace one function as a shop for more money. So anyway, that's what I ended up doing. This whole section that I wanted to add is about like the eco-friendliness of my products or their environmental impact. I don't think I really want to call it eco-friendliness, because anytime you're making something, it has an impact on the environment. But I wanted to be able to kind of measure that a bit and share it with you guys and make it like a very open. So I made a page about the eco impact and stuff, and I think I'll like explain it to you guys later, but I thought I would show you what I've been doing. So I basically figured out a way with this app, which is called Pagefly, to recreate my Squarespace page slash like I could potentially even do product pages and stuff. Didn't have all the same fonts, but I think I'm pretty happy with it. So I'll just kind of give you a quick look at what it's looking like. So this is in like the editing part of Pagefly, but anyway, you can just see that I've got pictures and images all the way down, and information about the score of different products. So yeah, and it keeps going for a little bit, but that is basically what I've been working on, as well as some new products, which I will tell you guys about at the end of this video. So I took some polls the other day asking you guys some things that you might want. Let's see, where's my phone? Since we're talking about my shop, I was actually planning on like not opening this shop until I had all like these new items, but I want to really be able to take my time. I'm trying to not be too hasty. I'm trying to be really thoughtful. Just making sure that I feel really good about everything I'm selling. Not that I've ever been concerned about the quality of what I'm selling, really, but I'm trying to make decisions about the eco-friendliness of things, and yeah, I just want it to all be good and thought out. So let's see. So I asked you guys on Instagram if you'd be interested in organic cotton baby swaddles. So like blankets, you know, to like swaddle a baby in. The reason I thought of this was because I think I've been asked about it before, and it's something that I can make with an organic natural fabric, and I like the idea of being able to offer more things in that, because when I did my scale rating all of my different products, the things that were made of like natural materials were rating the highest because they could also be recycled, etc. You'll see in my very detailed eco page on my new shop. But anyway, so 67% of you said yes, so that's something to consider. I asked about wall tapestries. Now, I was kind of thinking of doing these in like this kind of, this is gonna sound weird. It's kind of like cheesecloth-like fabric, like very gauzy. I have like a Turkish towel tapestry that I have in my bedroom, and I really like it. And I like that it has like a natural texture rather than like the polyester silky kind of tapestries. So 76% of you said you'd be interested in wall tapestries. And I thought, I've seen other artists do it where they offer something like that, but it can also double as like a scarf or a throw blanket or something, because it's just like this really cool item. Very versatile. So I also asked you guys about that. You're a little less interested in the scarf idea. 66% said yes. But I asked about organic and recycled t-shirts. I'm really excited that the company that I've been working with for apparel in the past now has some options that are organic cotton and made of like recycled polyester or recycled water bottles. So that's really cool. The only issue is that they still ship things in plastic bags, which is something that I've eliminated from the things that I ship out. So anything that I ship myself is going to be, if it does have plastic like bubble wrap, it's either recycled plastic or it's reused from something that I received myself. So that's kind of like a toss-up, because with something like tote bags, like the organic cotton tote bags, I can order like a small batch of those and ship them out myself, and that way it's only one plastic bag and then I'm shipping them to you guys. Of course, that's like another shipment. There's so many things to think about, and I know I might seem crazy, but I'm just trying to be like as thorough as I can be. Once you start producing things in like larger quantities, you start thinking about it more, I think, than when you're just purchasing something for yourself. So with t-shirts, I can't really buy like, 10 at a time and then ship them to you, because there's so many sizes and I don't know what sizes people are gonna order, etc. And I don't know if anyone wants to wait to have them shipped to me. Hi guys, I just finished making lunch and I'm really excited because I haven't had this meal in a while, but I wanted to show you guys because it's really good, and it's vegan if you don't add the particular like fake chicken that I added. So it's a white bean chili, and I usually don't use black beans because it's a white bean chili, but that's what I had. So the color is a little bit more brown than it normally is. It's so good though. It has coconut milk, coriander, cumin, chili powder, garlic, jalapeno. It's so good. So anyway, I'm using my little recipe cards. You can get these blank in my shop. So this is my first time using it since I transferred the recipe onto here. And this might not look that appetizing because it's usually more of like this golden color, but it's gonna be so good. I'm so excited. So I found this recipe on a blog that I will link below. I should say the one thing that I change about it is that it calls for this salsa verde, and it calls for an entire jar, which I think is, yeah, like 16 ounces. And I only do half of that. Okay guys, so I thought I would, while you are watching me paint Mr. Tibbles, the updated version, I thought I would go ahead and answer your questions from Instagram. I wanted to do a little Q&A time because it's been a while since we've done that. So let me go to your questions. So this first one is from Art Peppy. They asked, have you ever thought about licensing your artwork? Yes, I have licensed my artwork and I have thought about it. So I had some art licensed with Cat Sticker Club, which is, well, it no longer exists, but it was like a monthly subscription of cat stickers. And I also was approached by someone who buys for one of the major home decor kind of stores that's in Europe, North America, and Canada. Well, that is North America. Yeah, so I was working with them, and we were going to be coming up with some new products for winter 2020, but then obviously 2020 happened as it did, and the project got put on hold. So we'll see if that's something that I end up getting to do or choosing to do. But yeah, I would like to license my artwork as long as I feel like I'm able to have things made the way that I would want them to be, and I feel okay about like the values of the company and the situation. Another question comes from Noodles and Beans, and it is, how do you decide on your next illustration? to make best. I just have a lot of sketches. So I determined this based off of what my current goals are. So if I'm going through a time where I really need to get work done on my graphic novel, that's what I work on. If I need to make something for my portfolio, I try to look at my portfolio and see what it needs. So when I was first developing my portfolio for book illustration, most of my artwork was bunny related, and I really needed to show more animals. And so I focused on doing some illustrations of other types of animals. And then I needed to be able to show expressions on animals. And so I tried to make some pieces that filled that, as well as then eventually adding more people. So it kind of just depends on what your goals are. I'm not always inspired. I think it's a good idea to think about what you want to be doing with your art. Do you want to be making it for products? Do you want to, just do it for fun? Are you just trying to grow and push yourself? Or are you trying to fill a portfolio for a certain type of career that you want to have? So, those are typically the things that I'm thinking about. Next question. Oh, what are your favorite childhood memories? One of my favorite childhood memories is I was fortunate enough when I was like 6 or 7 to get to go to London because my sister was studying abroad there. And her boyfriend or fiance at the time, who is now my brother-in-law, was there too. And at this time in my life, I loved mice and I loved pretending to be a mouse and being a spy mouse. And I took my Beanie Babies with me on this trip, and it was just like I was basically pretending to be a spy hamster with my Beanie Baby the whole time. So my brother-in-law, knowing all of these things about me, took me to the subway or the tube in London. We had been using it for transportation, but he took me one night to see the mice that live there. And that sounds like such a weird thing, but for me, it was so exciting. I still don't really understand how the mice live like on these tracks without dying all the time, but like when the train leaves, the mice will come out, and then when another train comes, they scatter. But it was just a really thoughtful and sweet thing that he did, and I still remember it today. I'm working on my graphic novel, which has a rat character and mystery element to it, and there's just a lot from kind of that period of my life that I think inspires the story. So that's one of my favorite childhood memories. Another is I was homeschooled for a period of time, and during this time, my mom and I got to be really creative with like art projects and things like that. And I was really into fairies at the time. I had seen that movie. I think it's called like Fairies or Fairy or Fairy Tale. It takes place in I think in Ireland. During like World War One, and it's about these girls who find fairies in the backyard, and it's kind of based on a true story of this old picture of these women who were children at the time, and they used a camera and kind of took pictures of these cutout fairies from a book or a magazine, and people thought it was real, but in the movie the fairies really are real, and it's actually a really good movie. I still really like it. So at the time, I was super into that. And my mom and I went out into the woods and the yard, and we got twigs and moss and built a little fairy house with those things. And it was really awesome. It wasn't like when you go to the store now and you can buy fairy house things. This was like homemade, and I made a little seashell sink, and it was awesome. We put it on the side of the house outside, where kind of like near the air conditioning unit, we had a bunch of honeysuckle that kind of created like this little like domed archway bush that I could kind of like hide in and play in. So we put it there and planted some like pretty ground cover, and it was really magical, and I just loved doing that. So that's one of my other favorite childhood memories. Oh, this person, the name is Kate's underscore KAITZ underscore. Are you ever going to make kits of your bunny embroideries? I don't know if this question was really meant for me. Around the time when I took these questions on Instagram, I had shared my friend Chloe Giordano's bunny embroidery on my story, and I tagged her and everything, but I don't know if maybe this person got confused because I don't really do any embroideries. I draw bunnies. I have had people ask if they can embroider my bunny illustrations before. So you might be thinking of my friend Chloe Giordano, and if you are, you should just ask her about about that. Okay, next question is from Cozy Clover Studio. If you could have a pet, what would it be? Oh, I would like to have a dog. I had my bunny Pocket, which probably a lot of you know about, and I loved her so much. Bunnies are really great pets, but they are considered an exotic pet, so they have a lot of complications that can come easily, and it's probably the lack of education on their care is probably why people think that they only live for like a few years, because bunnies can live like upwards of 13 years. So I really love bunnies, but I think that at least at this time in life, if I was going to get a pet, it would probably be a dog. We had so many, vet bills and then the complications of not being able to travel with her and things like that. I loved her so much, but I think that a dog is probably a better fit now if I were going to get a pet. Do you name the animals that live around you? Yes, I do. We have a squirrel in our backyard, and we recognize that it's the same squirrel because he has a short tail, and we call him Houdini. And when I lived with my parents in high school, there was a squirrel outside that I named Orangelo. And what other animals have I named? I don't know. Groundhogs in my parents' yard that we named Ernest and Ernest Jr. So yes, I have a long history of naming animals, and I continue to do so. Let's see. Okay, this last question, I forgot to say who the other one came from, but this is from the same person. It's EJ Kowalski. And they asked, what is your favorite bridge? And I thought that was an interesting question. At first, I couldn't come up with any, I was thinking of famous bridges, and I was thinking, well, I don't really have an emotional connection to any of those. But something that did come to mind is this little bridge that is at my Aunt Becky's house. She has this historical home with some land, and at Easter time we usually go there, and there's this creek on the property and a little wooden bridge that goes over it into this meadow of flowers, and I don't know, it's like some kind of really pretty ground cover. I don't know if it's phlox, and then there's some hellebores blooming there usually around Easter, and it's just really magical and cool. So yeah, I think that's my favorite bridge. Anyway, thank you guys so much for the questions. I hope you enjoy watching this Mr. Tibbles painting process, and I will just leave it at that. Hi guys, so I'm doing something kind of fun today. Ever since fall, I've been eyeing out my kitchen window my neighbor slash this abandoned house. I don't really know what the deal is. The tree in their yard, they have a is there something weird going on with my lens? No, okay, sorry. So they have a Chinese rain tree growing in the back, and there's some branches hanging over with seed pods, and I was gonna go just get a few seed pods that are hanging over the alley, but the other day one blew into our yard. So I am going to try to harvest it and plant it, and we'll see how that goes. So this is one of the seed pods from the tree. And if you just like open it up, I've already taken one side off, there are little seeds. So what you're supposed to do, I guess, is to imitate winter, like as if these had fallen on the ground in winter and gotten planted in cold, moist soil. So you're supposed to get some soil that's supposed to be sterile, but I'm gonna use some that I have in an empty pot outside and just see how that goes. I mean, these have been living outside anyway, so I don't know. So we have those. And then you're supposed to put it in a baggie, and I'm just gonna use this cheese baggie that I have left over from some cheese, because we don't really buy plastic bags if we can avoid it. So anyway, I'm gonna reuse this with some soil that is nice and moist, and then you keep it in the fridge until early spring, and it's like a very important part of the process. Rather than just going straight to trying to like germinate these, they won't germinate unless they've had that time in the cold, wet soil. So here we go. So I'm going outside. It is raining slash like sleeting, and I have this right here. So I'm gonna use some of that. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the baggie out here, I think. Okay, I got a nice wet soil. I squeezed out some of the water, so hopefully it's not like too wet. But I guess we break these little guys off and put them in. So I guess there's gonna be 6. I don't know how viable this little tiny one really is, but this is an experiment. We're gonna see how it goes. Okay, so now I'm going to try to make it pretty airtight-ish. Seal it up, and because I don't really know how much these guys are in the soil, I'm gonna massage it around and try to get them into a good position. I guess the fact that it's in a baggie, like even if one's on the top, it must kind of imitate, you know, that it's buried. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get more air out of this. Into the fridge we go for the next few months. So I just wanted to show you guys I don't even know for sure if there's one in each of these. They're black, and so they're really blending in with the soil, but I think there's at least one in each of these little units. So I'm really kind of excited. I know this isn't revolutionary, but I'm supposed to put some kind of plastic over this. And we had this package that our kiwis were in. And so I just cut the top off, and it's like a little greenhouse. So I might use some packing tape and tape up these holes. I'm not like sure how much airflow there's supposed to be, but anyway, so this is just gonna live in our little plant corner here for a while, and we'll see if any of these seeds actually sprout. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing me painting Mr. Tibbles. He's going to be in my next shop update, along with some other new things. I'm hoping to do tapestries, and actually probably like thick woven ones that are like a tapestry blanket. I'm trying to decide if it's better to do, I have an option that's 100% cotton, and I have an option that's 95% cotton, part of it is recycled cotton, and then 5% polyester. So I'm trying to decide, is it better to go with the completely natural fiber blanket or the one that has recycled content with a little polyester in it. I'm not quite sure yet, but I have my design ready. So yeah, that's gonna be exciting. So I've also ordered Mr. Tibbles and Amaryllis, who is a bunny I made a character of back in the fall, and I have given her a new springtime look. So I've ordered fabric to make plushies of those. They're gonna be printed on organic cotton knit, which will be kind of like a stretchy, soft fabric, and they're 100% cotton, organic, and they're gonna be stuffed with recycled polyfill. So that's gonna be really exciting. Plushies have been something that I've offered off and on throughout the years, but I thought that Easter would be a good time to do some bunny ones. So I'm hoping to do a shop update on March 19th with a bunch of new things, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, if you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing for my shop, when new things come in, because I am going to have limited quantities of these things, I'm going to link the sign up form for my email below to stay up to date with like my email newsletter. So yeah, also I've had a number of new people join Patreon recently, so thank you. If you're interested in seeing more behind the scenes, sneak peeks of products coming up, or like weighing in on polls for those, I do a lot of that over at Patreon, and I'll link that below too. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe for more and like this video because that really helps me out. I will see you guys later. Bye.